So we're having blower motor issues. Don't mind my voice, I've been sick for about the past week, but we're getting past that now. But what's not helping is the fact I don't have heat in here. Well, I do intermittently. The blower motor is working intermittently right now. And I was gonna explain some of what I know about this system here. It's pretty simple. I'll try not to stumble over my words too bad, but this is pretty much how they work. You have your selector switch inside with the 4 speeds, off or low, medium 1, medium 2, and high. The first 3, so all of them except for high, go through this resistor here. And this resistor goes into this air box here, so when your air conditioner is blowing, it keeps them cool, because running constant current through there, things heat up. You know how that works. And this is what that looks like. It plugs in here. Here's your 3 different speeds, and this one has 3 different size springs to hopefully keep these cool. So I changed this thinking this was old, corroded, things were getting hot, and that's why it would quit working after so long. So I replaced it. That wasn't the issue. Next thing, I replaced this because it's connected straight to our blower motor. This relay right here. I actually haven't checked if that was the issue yet. We'll see right now. Okay, yeah, nothing. Nothing anywhere. So that's not my problem. So I'm gonna have to figure out what that is later. But yeah, this relay here, and what happens is your first 3 modes, like I said, your low, medium 1, medium 2, go through here. There's 1 wire for each one of these. They go in here, and this resistor drops it down to the voltage, your quarter voltage, half voltage, 75% of 12 volts. And then it jumps out of here, comes into your resistor via, I believe, this orange wire here. This black one's just a ground. So that stuff comes in and it just gets bypassed and then goes into your blower motor. And now when your blower motor's on high, it doesn't come straight from the switch. The full power doesn't come into here, get resisted, doesn't need to get resisted. It's full 12 volts. Comes from elsewhere and through this blue wire, I believe. And the red wire is constant 12 volt. The blue wire is just your switch for the relay, because the 12 volts, that's a lot to run through a switch. A lot of amperage to run through a switch. Things will get hot up there and start melting. So it comes in, signal wire right here, skips the relay, starts taking power from the big red wire, and then puts your full power into your blower motor. And basically, that's the system up there. So now I'm gonna test the switch in here. So we'll just select our medium 1. And I'm gonna come here and start poking this test light around. We'll see what our medium 1 is here. Or if I get any power at all, which I'm not. Okay. Test light is working, but I am not getting power out of any of these. Kind of scrape them, see if there's corrosion, but no. Should be lighting up. So we're not even getting power here. That leads me to believe there's something wrong with the actual switch, which that makes sense because everything in here, all this is new. So I could plug this back in and just have the peace of mind that this is all new. Probably never gonna have to replace it. Probably was never gonna have to anyways, but let's go tear the dash apart. Okay, so this is interesting. I have this red wire here, which I just am using to verify that my ground is good. So I have power right here. Obviously, I'm grounded down below the column. I pulled the connector off the back of the switch, which there should be power coming in. One of these should have power, goes in the switch, and I select one of my positions. And bottom's on, you know, or off. Bottom is off, which it's always on these. But not one of these has power. And I'm looking in here, and that's it for the switch. If the switch has a positive ground for some reason, no, absolutely not. It doesn't. So we're not even getting power to the switch. So it's a problem somewhere in the fuse box. The next thing I'm gonna check is the fuse box. If the fuse has power, it means the wiring in between the fuse box and the switch, there's an issue somewhere. And I can see somebody in here took power, it looks like. Somebody spliced into something. You see right there? That butt connector, there's a yellow wire coming out of there. Perhaps for the radio or something. Here we are underneath in the rainbow spaghetti land. First thing that caught my eye. This is melted. This is also melted. And there's a yellow wire spliced in, if you don't remember. Follow this up. There it is. I'm wiggling the connector, this yellow wire here. So why is this going on? I don't know. So I saw that melted. All right. Here's our heater and air conditioning. Good, good. But what's this thing? This is live. Whatever this is burnt. It's melted. So we could only assume this other melted end is coming from there. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna plug my switch in and I'm gonna give this power from another source before I try to hold it on there and see if it works. So I'm gonna get this power, so we get our switch power and we'll see what happens. So we have this input to our yellow wire that goes to our switch here. I'm just jumping off some other random power I have down here. Sure enough, once I give that switch power again, we have all our positions. So here it is how I found it for my 1977 K10. It's probably the same for all the square body pickups up until the 80s. You know, a lot of cars, your G bodies, Camaros, Suburbans, stuff like that. You get your fuse box 12 volts into the switch, and you could select one of 4 positions. The very bottom one is the fan on its lowest setting, and that's off, I guess. The fan, it never shuts off. Even if you turn your blend door to off, it never shuts off. The blower motor is always going very slowly. So that's number 1. And how that works is it takes a 12 volt, you know, goes to a resistor, the smallest one, resists it to the lowest amount, into the relay where it bypasses the switch for max power. I'll talk about that in a second. Then goes to your blower motor with the lowest voltage and blows the slowest. And the blower motor, there's literally just a wire screwed into the firewall, body ground for the blower motor. Same thing for the second position, goes into the resistor, gets cut down to about half power, goes into the relay, bypasses the switch, gives your blower motor the second speed. Third speed, same thing, cuts down some of the voltage, bypasses the switch, into a blower motor, you get your third speed. Now your fourth speed, this is where things change a little bit. It comes in to the resistor and, well, I guess it doesn't even go into the resistor. It goes into the same plug as everything, but it doesn't get any voltage cut down. You get your 12 volts. And from there, that 12 volt wire comes back out and it comes into your relay here. And that one plugs in on here to your 12 volt signal wire. And what that does is it tells the relay, okay, you could start pulling our 12 volt high amperage from the battery, from the thick wire coming out of the wiring harness, flips the relay, and then it starts coming out. Max power to the body ground, or to the blower motor, sorry. And I wrote here, this is what the plugs do on the relay. Regulated voltage coming in, bypasses this switch right here, and it just goes out to blower motor. For all 3 positions, ground gets grounded into the wiring harness. Who knows where that goes? Could say the battery. And then for your full speed, like I said, no voltage regulation going on here. Get a straight 12 volt. You see is okay, 12 volts to my signal wire. I'm gonna let it take power from the high amperage wire, and then it goes to the output. They all use the same prong for the output, so you could just have one wire going to your blower motor. And that's how this system works here. If you have a problem of not getting your max speed, is most likely a problem with your relay. The switch isn't kicking on. If you have a problem with your intermediate speeds, is probably an issue with the resistor. The power's not getting resisted correctly. A lot of times these, I'm sure, could get corroded or overheat and melt. They're in that air box with the air conditioning condenser to stay cool. So yeah, if you have a problem with your multiple speeds, I'd check this. Or your switch. A switch could be a problem too. If you're having intermediate power loss problems, it could be the wiring anywhere. For me, it was the fuse box. If you're getting nothing at all, also try fuse box. It could be a blower motor. I mean, and it could be a million different things. At first, I went with the easy. I check my grounds, because sometimes if you have a bad ground, this circuit's not going to be able to complete itself. But yeah, no, that's simply how it goes. And here again, these are what the inputs are for the relay, I believe. And it's very simple. It really is.